Please welcome Hugh Jackman. Thing.
That's good.
They really, they're really genuinely sexually excited right now.
And that was before I came in. That was for you.
Yeah, no, I think they smelled you in the background somewhere. How's everything? How are you? It's good to see you.
Are you guys drinking this? Because I'm going to...
Enjoy.
Is that what they were getting?
Well, the guests share it in general, but you go ahead.
Excellent. No. Good to see you, man.
It's good to see you, too. The last time you were here, as I recall, you were trying to get your son. How old is your son?
He's 9 now.
9 years old, interested in basketball.
Yeah.
And not having a good time with it.
No, but actually being on your show did prompt me to try again. Because, as I was telling the story, I thought, oh, maybe he was a little young, so I thought I'm going to take him to a game.
Yes.
And very kindly, Madison Square Garden, they gave us some tickets. We were courtside, and I took him to see a game, Knicks versus the Nuggets. And he was there, and he was sort of into it when we began. And he goes, Dad, who's everyone going for? And I says, well, we're in New York at Madison Square Garden. Everyone traditionally will go for New York here. He goes, great. Go Nuggets! Go the Nuggets! And he's like, where are the Nuggets from, Dad? I said, Denver. Go Denver! It was all about
This might be my son, actually. I don't know.
Au contraire. Everything is au contraire.
Well, but look at what happened, though. The first game, you can see your son there sleeping on your lap, bored. Last game, go Nuggets! You can see that's when they scored and won the game, by the way. And what's... okay, you got to check this out. See this hat, right? It's a Knicks hat. Yeah. Now, we were given a whole lot of swag by the Knicks, but to kind of shut him up. Oh, really? We were there as guests of Madison Square Garden, the Knicks in their courtside seats, and he's like, go Nuggets! The whole time, and the camera kept coming to me. It was all bad. So he had that hat in his hand, because every time the Knicks scored, he's like, no! I hate the Knicks! Wow. And actually, Smith, the guy who plays for the Nuggets, who's great, he came over at the end and took his shirt off, his sweaty shirt, and gave it to Oscar. That's how big a fan he was. Yeah. Wow. So this shirt, it came down to his ankle. It was like a dress. Yeah. He wore that home. It was the middle of winter, and he wore that thing home. We walked home, and he's going through the streets. That's when I thought we were going to get beaten up. Yeah. Anyway. You're lucky nobody in New York cares about the Knicks anymore. Yeah. Exactly. Wow, look, he loves basketball, but it's been really expensive because we fly to Denver every other week. Does he do that with everything? Is it, do you have other sports teams that you root for that he roots against? Yeah, pretty much every team I go for, he'll go against. Really? Oh, that's got to drive you crazy. Well, it's kind of, and actually there's been occasions where I've thought, you know what, I want to be on the same team, so if it's a sport I don't really know much about, I say, oh, who do you like, Oscar? And you're like, oh, I like the Dolphins. And I go, yeah, I've always loved the Dolphins. He goes, oh, well, I like the, I don't know, the Giants. I like the Giants. Really? Whoever's the opposite. Wow, so it's you that he doesn't like. Basically. Exactly. Yeah. He likes getting a rise out of you, I guess. Non-stop. In fact, okay, this is a bit of a rant. I'm not looking for a segue into the movie, by the way, but one of the great things about doing Wolverine is he was rooting for Magneto? Yes. The Brotherhood. They gave me a blow-up punching bag of Wolverine, right, which actually had my face on it. And I thought, this is perfect. So I blew it up and I put it in his room. And every time I sent him to his room, I hear him going, oh, I hate you, he's punching. Wow. Wow. Saving me thousands in therapy. Down the track. Merchandising, who knew that was the secret? Exactly. Wow, that's something else. Well, and so does he get excited that you're Wolverine? My dad actually looks just like Wolf Blitzer, but not like nothing like Wolverine. It's not as exciting for a young man. He doesn't talk to me much about it. Really? No, I've caught him a couple of times talking with hot chicks. With the girl? Chicks. Oh, really? Yeah. My dad's Wolverine. I've caught him like, and he's looking at. And you are. Sign a couple of autographs, will you, Dad? Will you sign a couple of autographs? But apart from that, he doesn't talk about it much. How did you wind up playing Wolverine? Well, it's an interesting story. There was another actor who was going to play the part, Scottish actor, and he was, he was on
Mission Impossible 2. And they were running late. I think he had an injury, but they were running late. And so in the end, our movie had started, and I finally auditioned about 4 days after the film had begun.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So I kind of went along there, and I actually, that's not true. I did an audition about 9 months before, one of those general auditions, but I was doing a musical in London at the time, playing Curly from Oklahoma, so I had a perm in my hair.
That's one way to go with Wolverine.
Trust me. All bad. So, of course, such a bad...
Why did they call him Curly?
Yeah. So I put the hat on to do the audition, and about halfway through, the casting agent was like, casting director was like, that was great. Could you do one without the hat? I can't really see Wolverine wearing a baseball cap. And I said, okay, all right. And I took it off, and I went about 2 lines. She goes, cut, put the hat on. Now.
Wow. And who would have guessed that? Well, this is with the 4th movie that you've played.
Yeah, 4th movie, so it's about 10 years now. I've been
and you do birthday parties as Wolverine,
yes,
too?
Yes, we do birthday parties.
Very busy.
Weddings, whatever you need. Sushi chef, moil, I'm a moil, whatever you need.
Did you worry about, because I know a lot of people when they play a superhero, they worry because they're like, well, this is now potentially what I'm going to be for the rest of my career. I'm like, you know, I'm sure Tobey Maguire thought about it with Spider-Man. And
they're all lying.
Yeah, they are.
All actors think every job is their last. That's all they think.
Is that, do you think they
really... A
really...
little bit. Yeah. I understand that in a way, but when you've got a great character, Wolverine is a great character.
Yeah,
I can't say I had a lot of choices at the time. It was the only character I was offered, but it turns out it was a really kind of amazing
Did anyone
character.
tell you not to be Wolverine? Or?
That's, you know, you've just reminded me. When I went for an audition, first off for it, and whenever I went for an audition, my wife would run through the lines with me. So we had the sides, a bit like this, and she's running through, and she goes, okay, Wolverine, things get anxious and tense, Wolverine's nostrils flare, and his claws come out of his hands. She's like, what? And then it had snicked, S-N-I-K-T. She's like, oh, shit, this is ridiculous. And she put it down. She said, you can't do this.
Really?
I says, well, I don't know, Ian McKellen's doing it, Patrick Stewart, Anna Paquin, Bryan Singer. She goes, Hugh, you can't do it. To this day, the only time she says she's ever been wrong.
Oh, really?
The only time.
Well, we're going to take a look at a clip. But
all the women are like, yeah. Anyone.
From the new movie, X-Men Origins Wolverine. It's in theaters now. More with Hugh Jackman.